Hi everyone, Combat Reviewer here, this time doing another Halloween review, and this one is on Silent Hill Revelation. Now, as you know, Silent Hill Revelation was a 2012 supernatural horror film that was meant to be the second film in the Silent Hill film series, as well as being a sequel to the 2006 Silent Hill film that I did cover. Now, yeah, elements of Silent Hill Revelation mainly draw heavily from Silent Hill 3, which is meant to have the character Heather, and almost like the third game, you do have her having a sort of nightmare in a sort of amusement park. You also do have certain characters like Richard Douglas, Cordelia, as well as certain other characters. And keep in mind, yeah, the point of Silent Hill Revelation was meant to be what MJ Bassett wanted to do after the 2006 film. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Sharon and her adoptive father, Christopher, who have spent their time running from town to town with different identities. And yeah, we do kind of see how Sharon ends up taking the name Heather and even having the iconic jacket. And we do kind of see how, yeah, Sharon basically learns that her father had been finally found out. We kind of see how he gets taken into Silent Hill, and we see her and one of her fellow classmates, Vincent Cooper, journey out to Silent Hill to save him, as well as learning her connections there. I think what I give the film credit is that it's clear that MJ Bassett doesn't sugarcoat not retconning too much, and not hiding the first film under the rug. She does use a good portion of the original cast members. She also basically still tries to keep things still intact, but not changing too much. And I think what I give the film credit is that it's sort of implied, at least in the sequel, that some time had passed, and it's implied that Alyssa had basically gotten more and more powerful. And we do kind of see how, yeah, things in Silent Hill have gotten a lot worse, and more deadlier beings have now shown up. And I think what's actually interesting is, I actually think it's also interesting kind of seeing how the sort of residents of Silent Hill have to kind of still band together and try to deal with the new possible dangers. I think the film, in my opinion, is okay, but I think it relies heavily on the 3D stuff. I know MJ Bassett said that she didn't want to do the 3D, but was told to do it following the success of Avatar, and it really clearly showed. I think what's also interesting is that, yeah, some of these sort of creatures in Silent Hill remind me of those certain boss battles, and some of the characters you would see, like the ones from the Straitjacket from Silent Hill 2, the ones with the nurses from Silent Hill 2. I give the film credit, like it's knowing what it has to balance, but still trying to use what they can. And it's also kind of interesting how, yeah, they do make a reference near the end, having Travis Bradley from Silent Hill Origins show up near the end, and a police transport as a reference to the sort of game Silent Hill Downpour, showing that at some point the third film would have probably have had the characters from Silent Hill Downpour, and we would have gotten a prequel with Travis Bradley, probably hinting on more sort of connections with Alyssa and so on. I think the film isn't perfect, and yeah, it falls victim to the whole 3D atmosphere. And keep in mind that, yeah, for a time there was a lot of films that relied on 3D effects, 3D stuff, and you know, when you had the 3D glasses, it showed you it was a really pointless marketing gimmick. Avatar and its sequel worked because James Cameron wanted to bring something new on the table that actually worked. But for me, I think this film definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. It's okay, it knew what it had to adapt from the third game, and I think it's not too great, but it's still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.